Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. So, April Fools. I guess it only really works if you're watching it on April 1st though. Any other day of the year is just a bad video title. So, since we're both here now, I've made a lot of changes in my photography recently, and I guess we can maybe discuss some of the things that I'm leaving behind or quitting from my photography. And moving forward with number one, we've got stop underpricing my work. So up until recently, I've been either working for completely free or taking £25 per roll for each job, which has resulted in me taking a loss on every single job that I take at either of those two prices. And it's been a very long time for me to kind of understand pricing my own work, and pretty difficult for me to accept that I will eventually have to do it. It's really difficult to draw the line between passion and business, but unfortunately I can't pay my bills with passion. Recently I've started to charge £50 a roll, which means that now, after the cost of buying the film, developing the film, I actually take home a fee, which is nice and also something I didn't see happening for a very, very long time. It is quite hard for me to be firm on my pricing, but unfortunately doing work for free or that actually costs me to make, both in terms of time and money, hurts myself and other photographers by undervaluing both mine and their work and time. Don't get me wrong though, it's taken me 5 years to get to this point and to sort of kind of understand pricing my own work, and I still struggle with it here and there, and that pricing is definitely due to change in the future, but overall it is a good thing, because if I can earn money from taking pictures, then I can work less hours at my full-time job, which means I can shoot more, which means I'll have more money to buy more equipment and to do more research and make my photography better. So I'm quitting underpricing and undervaluing my work. Number two on the list of things I'm quitting is I'm quitting just using natural light and not using lighting setups simply because I don't understand how they work. For basically all of my photo shoots, I only ever use natural light, which, don't get me wrong, looks great, but unfortunately it does really dictate A, the kind of pictures you can take, and also B, when you can take those pictures. For instance, if it's raining or if it's past 6 PM, it's kind of inconvenient. So I think going forward in the future, I'd really like to start learning a bit more about lighting setups, learn how they work, why they work, and what kind of equipment I can use. It's a bit scary starting to use them initially, but I figure once I get set up and once I start learning when and why you use each different bit of equipment, the photos will improve. Even if it's just one small reflector that I end up bringing with me to shoots, just to highlight key parts of the image or something like that, I don't see how that's a bad thing. And also, with only using natural light, over the winter it's been really, really difficult for me to organise photo shoots, because here in England it's just miserable every day during the winter. So I really haven't been able to shoot at all, or really to the degree that I want to. And it's little things like learning about lighting setups that hopefully will enable me to take more images. My third point continues along a similar notion as number three, is to quit shooting exclusively outdoors. Basically, I want to start using a photography studio. I want to start getting into the practice of renting them for shoots and to really understand what sort of photos you can take in there, and to just get into the groove of shooting indoors in an environment that fosters creativity and is a bit more professional than just being like, okay, let's go find a brick wall. Unfortunately, I'm not in the position to own my own at the minute, which is slightly annoying, but I'd like to get into the habit of renting them, finding out what works with different studios, just sort of beginning to get accustomed to taking that next step with a photo shoot. Whilst I do really enjoy shooting outdoors, I think including a mix of both in my portfolio would show what I'm capable of and show that I understand lighting setups and how to shoot in both different environments. I still will shoot a massive majority outdoors as it's just easier. However, I think in a studio you can really get that technical edge on your photos as there's less variables to worry about. Number four is to just kind of slow down a bit when I'm shooting. For some reason, I've just assumed that you can only really get one good standout image from a roll, that my hit rate is around 1 in 36, and that's just because of how a roll of film is. There's only going to be one that stands out. And thinking about it for more than a second, that's just completely untrue. I think if I slow down a little bit more and become more deliberate and intentional with the kind of images that I want to make, even just between, I don't know, shots 6 to 10, those can still be incredible images. There doesn't have to be just one standout image from the roll. They could theoretically all be standout images. Maybe I just need to slow down and shoot with a bit more consideration. Also, slowing down sort of works in tandem with my first point, where if I'm charging by the roll and we slow down and we shoot more better images with each roll, then the client's happy too. I've got more images per roll that I'm happy with, and they've got more bang for their buck, essentially. I don't know. I do tend to rush things, and I think because I use a mix of medium format and 35mm, sometimes I see 35mm as you can get 10 shots and the other 26 are all B-roll shots, but that's not the case at all. You can get 36 great images, maybe just slow down. So yeah, I'm going to kind of intentionally slow down a little bit and shoot with a bit more intentionality, and hopefully one day maybe my hit rate can be 2 out of 36. And number 5, which is kind of the biggest thing that I'm quitting, is I'm quitting not having 1 million subscribers. I've held myself back until this point, but I feel like I'm really ready to accept the fact that I can have 1 million subscribers. And I think it's time now. I really do. All jokes aside though, it's been really nice to sort of lay out some of my intentions with my photography going forward, and to also talk about some of the things that I'm quitting and leaving behind in my photography. And also kind of to hold myself accountable for things that are maybe holding my photography back. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this more sort of laid back style of video. If you have, drop it a like and let me know what you're quitting in your photography in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of my photography, which I'm not quitting, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.